Greetings and welcome back to Smartwatch Ticks. We have a box. It says Smartwatch. Duh? You think? Okay. I know I've tricked you before and said there was nothing in there but air or a watch face, but this is actually a watch and it's old school. It's got something in here that I really love and missed when it left the watch arena, and it's come back in this particular watch. What's in here? From GearBest, we have the TenFifteen F1. I like that name in the first place, TenFifteen. If you ever try to spell it out when you're typing, the spell checker is going to automatically separate it into 10 and 15. But I digress. It'll learn it eventually, though, and not mess up with it if you use it enough. In the show notes down below, you'll see a buying link for this, and hopefully we'll have a discount for you as well. And look at that nice bezel design, watch face. What we've actually got in here is a regular 2503 processor for, your basic phone, watch type of connection. A little bit of RAM, an external TF card capability that you can put in with up to 64 gigabytes for songs and things you might use. It's got Bluetooth connectivity, GPS in it as well. Yeah. And covers all of these different bands and stuff with GSM connectivity. We've got it's 1.3 inch 240 by 240 basic display and a tiny little camera, nothing to really give you great pictures. SIM card as well as Bluetooth. That makes it dual mode, it sounds like. All of your picture formats, video formats, languages, and additional features are on here. So let's open it up and get into this thing, and I'll show you what I mean about old school. All right, I know this because I've actually already opened it up and played with it, and I even left the flap open so you could see it has the old standard micro USB charging port right here. That's what I mean. When you go on the bottom, and it's got my IMEI on here, so I'm going to cover that up, you don't see any charging dots on here for a cable or a dongle or a dock or anything, because the charging is happening through a USB port. And you just simply plug it in there and then cover this up. Yeah, that doesn't make it like seriously waterproof or anything, but it does make it really easy to charge anywhere you go. Here we go. I've got a little cover on the front of it. And look at the bubble I've got here under the screen protector. Now, sometimes you can kind of work those out if they're not too severe, or you can just get under there and scratch the darn screen protector off, because personally, I don't ever have scratch issues, so I never really see a problem there. Here on this side is where you put the SIM card in, so you have phone connectivity. And in the box, you've got the charging cable. Now, I am not going to whiz past this, folks. I usually do. This time I'm pausing because look at that thing. Yeah, and you need it. You cannot use a standard USB, micro USB connector. See, I just told you, it's great to get this watch because you got the standard connectivity as long as you have this cord. You have to have the long nose on this, and you can get extras of those pretty easy when it plugs in. If you have the regular short one, it doesn't go far enough in to charge it. You have to have something that's going to go really deep. So USB cable with a long nose will be what you're going to use on this, and of course it comes with one. Comes with a extra screen protector in case you got a bubble under yours, right? You can peel it off. Just remember, if you use these, if you get the tiniest grain of sand or spittle or whatever is on the screen, it's not going to stick well and you'll end up with a bubble. So putting these on is really an art. We've got a folded up little manual and a little SIM tool, for sticking in the hole and popping out the SIM. That's the hole for the SIM right there. Not that. That's probably your microphone. You stick it in there and you're not going to be happy. So you use this one to pop the tray out, and then you can put the SIM card, nano SIM card in there. All crumbled up as a Chinese manual. And on the other side, we hope, is a universal manual in English. And this is going to give you, if I get it just right and stop moving so it'll focus, You can read that when you freeze frame. It's a little too hard for me to be reading off of the screen. There's the Fundu Pro QR code. I know that because of the little blue symbol down there. I've memorized that one, and they're putting that in the middle of all of them nowadays. So a standard tethering app. We've covered that many, many times. I'll have links in the show notes to click to videos that cover how you use the Fundu Pro app. So we won't cover that in this video. And that's the English side. And of course, Chinese on that side. And that's it for the box. And that's it for everything. So we are ready to turn it on and test it out. Buttons on the lower right hand side, press and hold. It vibrates, lights up, and begins booting. In the meantime, what else? We've got non-removable TPU straps. They are in here solid because they have the antennas in them. That looks like the GPS module actually right there. Whoa, it's booted up already, and it's super bright. You can barely see it on the screen, huh? And pretty sure it's set to the lowest brightness. Yeah, check this out. I got to crank it all the way up, and yeah, there's your screen. Whoa, it's almost like a flashlight. You cannot see any of the material there. Definitely is going to be super bright outdoors. You saw that I swiped down from here to get to the brightness, the sound, vibration only, full sound, or silent. This is the QR code for the Fundu app that you need to tether. Or again, check the show notes. We'll have the link there. And Bluetooth, turn that puppy on so that you can do the tethering to your phone. You've got battery, Bluetooth indicator, and gosh, that looks like cellular, but it's not lit up, so you know, we don't have a SIM card in it. By the way, it's 2G network, and most everybody's gone away from that. I think you can still get a little bit of signal at 2G from T-Mobile in the USA, but AT&T doesn't support it anymore, and none of the other carriers even support the right network. So even though you have the ability to put a SIM card in here, it's most likely not going to work for you. Just want to be honest with you, that's not just this watch, that's most of these tethering type watches that are out there. Compass, very accurate. I'm sitting in the north, and it very responsive. I like that. We've got a stopwatch in here that you can start and stop. Remember, I am on the lowest brightness setting. Wow, this is like really, really bright. Stop and reset, and here we got barometric pressure, which gives us our outdoor actual pressure, I'm pretty sure, and deviation from the pressure will result in a distance altitude change. So you can get your roosters to shut up outside. You can get your your climbing information right straight from there. And if you wait too long and talk too much, it's going to time out on you. We keep on going, and now we've got the heart rate monitor, which if you have it on, which we haven't seen it on yet, and we click it like so. Oh, wait a minute. Did I click the wrong thing? Hello. That's okay. I don't have a button on here. I guess I do. Okay. It is sensitive. And we've just started the heart rate reading. So this is a rather fancy one. Look at the lights go all around, and it's pulsing the drop of blood. And this will give you the overall heart rate reading from your arm or your finger, if you wanted to touch it and hold it with your finger. Whoa, all right, it's measuring blood pressure rather than heart rate. Okay, that's a surprise. Well, we go through this thing together, so we're learning as we go. I thought that was going to be heart rate. What does that mean? Does that mean we've got more? You got history. Well, let's back out of here. And sure, okay, this must be the heart rate test then. No wonder the blood pressure took a little bit longer. That usually takes quite a while because you got to do more timely measurements in order for the algorithm to compute what's going on inside. Heart rate should be relatively quick, right? Now, the thing I like about this watch is it's like really big digits and easy to read, and it's bright. So it's getting a lot of check marks for me as far as a nice little outdoor sports watch. It's not an Android watch, mind you, but it does have the GPS module in here. It says click to end, and we're done. And I always want to press up here. Not used to the camera being at that angle, but actually that's a pretty good angle if you're going to use a camera on there. Okay, enough of that. And what have we got here? Your sleep time from last night, deep and light and total. And then your pedometer stuff, your step count, miles traveled, and percent of your total that you've done. And then, of course, you can slide over. Got 2 dots down here to show you this week's information. Same with the sleep time. Don't have one on here, but you got it on those 2. And now we're back to the watch face. Press and hold. I can activate an SOS function. So if you're out and you fall and you're, having problems and you got a 2G SIM card in there and it's working in the neighborhood that you're in, all of that stuff, then you could activate the SOS and say yes. But of course you have to program it with a number to call ahead of time. But that's what happens when you press and hold. So we've gone through all of this stuff that you can scroll either direction and it loops around. What about sideways? Go this way and it's going to ask you to turn on your Bluetooth to get notifications pushed to you from your phone. And if you scroll this way, you get into all of your activities. Walking, cycling, running, climbing, all of these goodies. Your history, and then some settings where you can have metric or imperial. And I just switched it over to metric. There's imperial. You can have it give you an alarm per mile or a pace reminder. Wow, okay. Cost time reminder. I think that's just how many minutes you want it to run or, go before you get an alarm. Your overall mileage, computed no doubt from GPS, daily sport something, and your personal data. Here is where you'd enter your gender, height, weight, age, and everything for computing all of the other numbers that it gets. So all of those functions are here. And then when you tap here, now you get into the deeper system level stuff. And again, sorry for it being washed out because it's such a bright screen. There's the dialer that you can make calls from the phone. And when you set it, okay, it doesn't have a SIM card in it, so it bounces you out. Here's your overall Bluetooth, power and visibility that you can set the Bluetooth and turn it on. Notice that in the dialer, we only had the numbers tied to the SIM card. So even though it says it supports Bluetooth, I don't believe at this point it supports Bluetooth calling. It's just Bluetooth for tethering. When you're tethered, you can do the Find My Device. Your phone book is tied to your SIM card, and your call logs would be related to that. Remote Notifier, again, is tied to the Bluetooth connection. Remote Capture, if you're connected through the app to your phone, you can use this as a trigger to take pictures from your phone. There's your messaging from the SIM card, your file manager showing you what you've got in here. And we don't have anything in here because we don't have a TF card. But if we had a microSD or TF card in it, this is where you could see your music and everything else. An overall sedentary reminder, the place you can do app download. Again, that's just the QR code that you'd scan to put on your phone, not into your watch. There's an audio player now that you'd use if you have music installed. And this is what it looks like. We don't even have any samples in here, so nothing's on it. And then overall settings, where you can literally set your home country right off of the list of the ones that they've got, which sets your time zone, I presume. A overall setting for your clock. You've got sound, which you can have vibrate only and different ringtones. And if we make this vibrate and ring, that's what I usually like. So it'll vibrate, but if you don't respond to it, then it'll start ringing. And you got different ringtones that are kind of soft. Again, that's only going to work if you got a SIM, and if you got a SIM, it's not going to work if you don't have a 2G network. Your overall volumes that you can crank up a little higher to the top, which is 6, I think. Your display, here's where we played with the brightness, and you have screen timeout. So you can go up to 60 seconds for it to give you your information. I'm going to leave it on 60 seconds so I don't time out while we're talking. There's an international section for changing your languages. Okay, we can show you what languages we've got. All of these are in here. And motion, I'm pretty sure that's twisting your wrist to see the time, which is the wake-up gesture. Again, it's almost washed out. I hope you're reading this. That's why I'm repeating it. Resetting the watch. Your flight mode, which is the airplane mode, which would turn off your radios. Auto change clock. Okay, off or on. We turn it on. I don't know what that one is. Here's the SOS setting where you would create a list up to 3 numbers that would be called when you press the SOS button, and an overall about for this watch, which tells you it's the F1. Yeah? Okay. That's everything in the settings, and I think that was it in the main menu, right? No. We've got a camera, so we can flip it into here. So your camera looks like this. It's not high resolution. It's just little pictures. And of course, you can save them on your TF card and you can offload them later. You look at them in your image viewer or your video player. And there's a separate video recorder. And then a sound recorder, of course, alarm, calendar, calculator, and finally a world clock that you can press anywhere on the map and switch it to a different city. Okay. That's everything. A lot of stuff on here, and we've gone through it all. So once again, it's called the TenFifteen F1. It'll tether to your phone with Bluetooth. It will make calls and SMS independently with a nano SIM card, but it only operates on the 2G obsolete network. So you might not consider this for phone calling if you can't confirm that your network will still support it. You've been watching Smartwatch Ticks. Thanks for your subscription, your patience, and if you're interested, check the show notes for a buying link from GearBest. Thank you guys for sending the watch out, GearBest, and we will see you all again here soon.